This is FE Peer Review. The date is June the 16th, 2024. Flatzoid is a Poe and a liar. Jeran claims to have balls, but does he? My thanks to Wally for posting the video I'm responding to. I'm simply unable to watch Flat Earthers' own videos. I find them such unpleasant people to be around that I can't make myself do it. It's only when the likes of Wally take them on that I can find it palatable enough to watch. So if you don't know of Wally's channel, please do check him out. Now for a little background, I'll play a few bits of this live stream from Flatzoid and his friends, and I'll share with you my thoughts. And for those of you who are new to this and not familiar with the word Poe, it means someone who claims to believe in Flat Earth, but actually doesn't. They do this typically to make money or for notoriety and attention. Here's a quick screenshot of Wally's video that I'm referring to, and you'll find a link in the description. And now here's the first bit, followed by my thoughts.
This Flat Earth hasn't made any claims. So it's really bad. I mean, when you look at any other thing, you don't see the sun for 24 hours, you see daylight.
Oh, goody.
Flatzoid has taken a lesson from Nathan Childslapper Oakley, which is not to make claims about Flat Earth. At 118, he says, Flat Earth hasn't made any claims. He says that as if it's a good thing, but in fact, it's all the evidence needed to show that he doesn't dare make any claims because he knows he can't support them with evidence. And he knows that because he knows the evidence supports the globe. So not only does he reveal his intellectual and scientific emptiness, he also reveals that he is a Poe, and therefore a liar and a cheater. Now I would amend this comment and add that in fact he makes lots of claims. In fact, in this very video he makes claims. He's making claims all the time and he never supports any of them with evidence. He even goes so far in this video to talk about how there's so much evidence for the flat earth, which implies that claims have been made and evidence has been presented, none of which has happened. Other people watching Wally's video commented to that effect, so I didn't feel it necessary to put that in my comment, but I just wanted to add that here.
Now I'm going to amend what I say because I didn't take some things into account.
Amend? Like change? Correct? Walk back? Run away? Hide? Pretend I never said what I said? Are you sure you want to do that, David?
I thought that if the sun were to start tracking that way, that would be a definite sign. But, one, I would not be able to throw out all the other irrefutable proofs.
Why? They were just refuted. This is what you do in science when something big comes along and you didn't take it into account. It's back to the drawing board and start all over again. Are you a pseudoscientist too, David?
Mm-hmm. Based on an object in the sky.
Nice downplay there, David. But the object in the sky is the freaking sun, the source of all our energy and the thing our daily life revolves around in the most literal way. Heliocentric model. It's in the name, David.
And my interpretation of what I'm seeing. Now, I think it would absolutely be important to see that thing again 180 degrees behind you.
Important? Yeah, life-changing, model-smashing, flirt-busting important. That's why we want you to witness it firsthand, dude.
But I think also you're going to want to have other people in other places around the plane making the observations and tracking where the sun is at from where they are. And then we can kind of grid this out and see what is really going on. Because if the sun goes around like that, is that going to throw out the lack of convexity?
No, it will mean there never was a lack of convexity, David.
Is that going to suddenly make balls of gas in space real?
It will show they always were real.
Is that suddenly going to allow gravity to somehow have an effect on gas behavior?
No, gravity still affects gas molecules. You just need to accept that you were wrong about all these things all along.
No, none of that is. So what is that going to mean?
David, if you can't allow your beliefs to be tested and falsified, then you just might be a cult. 441.
Is that going to mean the Earth's a globe? No, that's going to mean that we've not taken into account some optical phenomenon that we're witnessing.
I hear what you're saying, David, and it sounds like coping to me. Sounds like you're desperate to find a new excuse. Optics won't save you, David. If you have a time-lapse of the face of the sun for a full 24 hours, we can say that it was never reflected at all. Coffee cup caustics and reflection dome bottoms won't save flat Earth, David.
Now, personally, I don't think that if they go, they're going to see a 24-hour.
You say that with your mouth, David, but your actions are like someone walking back their original claims, like they were suddenly a tiny bit worried about how this is all going to end.
Well, Lucky Hastings made a good point. Why do you want to worry about one little evidence for a globe, for instance, okay, when they're ignoring hundreds of evidences for a flat Earth?
Because it's not.
At 7:30, this is how David's logic works. Mr. A has been murdered. Dozens of witnesses saw Mr. B do it. There is CCTV footage showing Mr. B killing Mr. A. Mr. B's cellmate reports that Mr. B admitted to the murder. But David is convinced that Mr. C did it. So when presented with each of those pieces of evidence, his response is, I reject that because it's still possible some new evidence implicating Mr. C will come to light. This is simple intellectual dishonesty as well as bad science. I don't expect the Flatzoids and Davids to change their tune after the trip to Antarctica, but I wonder if any of their viewers will. Maybe they'll see yet again that the people they watch have no evidence, are unwilling to do any real research, and reject conflicting evidence. I'd like to know, come next January, whether any of their flat Earth believing viewers change their minds. If any of you flat Earth believing viewers of those channels do come across this comment, please do let me know if you change your minds. And then I also have to add one other thing, which is I'm not sure at this point how many people actually watch channels like Flatzoid, people believing in flat Earth. I suspect quite a few of their viewers are so-called globies who were just there to point and laugh. But yes, there do seem to be some, based on the comments you see, that do accept what these guys say. So I hope those people follow this whole situation and give some thought as to why the likes of Flatzoid are unwilling to go on this trip and do their own research.
Thanks, guys.
Here's what I think. I've not seen any flat earther with balls yet. I'm the only one. Oh, Jeran says he's the only one with balls. Then come out and say what I say, which is if we see the sun go fucking behind us in Antarctica, the earth cannot be flat. That's the way it works. That's the way it is. And if I'm wrong, if what my statement I just said is wrong, then you have to show me how it's wrong. But what do? You just say, well, you can't look at the lights in the sky to prove the ground that you're on. Sometimes you can. Think about it. If in the north, at the North Pole, the sun goes around you left to right 24 hours a day. If at the south, the sun does the exact same thing, it goes around you, but now it goes right to left. What does that mean? So why am I so brave to say that? Because I don't think that the sun does that in the south, which is why I'm a flat earther. Hello, McFly. McFly. Anyone there? Anyone home? I've heard every excuse in the book. People messaging me saying, well, it could be a fake sun. It could be a simulation sun. What if we have this sun coming? The dumbest explanations I've ever heard. They cannot fake the sun on me if I'm down there. Maybe you would be fooled. They cannot fake the sun. There's no sun simulator that puts out the exact same registry and everything as far as the infrared camera, as far as it just doesn't exist. Okay, that doesn't exist. And again, just like they have no evidence of the 24-hour sun, well, we don't have evidence of it setting either. So this is a flight map or something like that, okay? Now, let's think about let me spin this so we can get a better idea. Let's go edit, view, image, rotate left. All right. So just putting this down at the bottom so it's easier for you to see. Where they are supposedly going for this experiment is 80 degrees south, which is you fly from Punta Arenas about here, and you go 4 hours south to everybody saying, you don't know that you'll be at the South Pole, you'll be somewhere else. Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? They can't in 4 hours get to the North Pole, and if they did, the sun is going around you left to right. That can't be right. That wouldn't fool anybody. And regardless, if they fly us out here, or fly us out here, what the fuck is the sun doing a circle around our head for? Still doesn't make sense. This is why this is called demonstrable evidence. And I'm talking to the wall. People are like, man, you don't really know what the sun is, Jeran. You can't say that. Well, then we're not looking for evidence then. If we don't know what the sun is, then there can be 8 billion suns. Go watch Jason and Ronnie. There might as well be 8 billion suns. The stars and the suns are coming out of the ground. Well, we don't really know what the stars and the sun is, so they could be coming out of the ground in the ocean, Jeran. You're right. Good point. Go watch them. I'm not exploring that option. I'm not exploring the Pac-Man sun. Not at all. So let's say we're down here at 90 degrees or 80 degrees, sorry. And the sun in our model circles this way. Okay? That's a bad circle. Okay, it goes this way. Now, I've shown before on the ray diagram, ray tracing, that because of the atmosphere, it is quite possible that you would see the sun rise south of east and set south of west. I've shown that. The dome calls for that. Lots of things call for that. And atmospheric, you just put atmosphere in a circle and it does that. But in no place, at no time, in no condition, would you ever stand here and watch the sun go around you for 3 freaking days? How would it go around you and the flat earth be correct? Well, we don't know what the sun is, though. And yeah, but it's going around your head. So let me explain this again, because Jason and Ronnie laughed and laughed. They're like, that was the dumbest explanation I ever heard. Pay attention here. Pay attention. If the sun goes around my head, okay, so let's say that here the sun's coming, which, by the way, supposedly down here they go by Brazil time. So let's say here it's noon. Okay, 12 noon. And then it starts going this way. So by here it is now 6 p.m. Okay, there. And here it was 6 a.m. Great. If the sun is behind me, okay, so it goes around here, then this is where it would be at midnight. Okay, but at midnight, the sun should be here. Pay attention now. If the sun is behind me in Antarctica and also lighting up the other side of the flat earth, do you understand what that means? Think about it. How could the sun be behind you in Antarctica and be lighting up land way over there? Well, there is a model that says that that's what happens. Again, because I have to teach you, people are all going to say, look, Jeran already believes it. I don't believe this, but I'm intellectually honest enough to say that there's a model that matches that prediction. You can't do that. I mean, what are this? I mean, come on. What did they completely steal every bit of testosterone that you had? Every bit of, I mean, is it just you're so soaked in estrogen you can't see straight anymore? I don't get it. It's not difficult to just stand behind your beliefs, not just switch them over. Well, then now we don't know what the sun is. Okay, now if you look at this model, if the sun is behind me, remember that this is where South America is, so we would be standing here, looking this direction. The sun's behind me at 12, midnight, and if we tilt this globe around, what is being lit up? Oh, goodness, it's Australia. Again, pay attention. If the sun is behind me in Antarctica, but is currently lighting up Australia, what model makes more sense? This model or the model that I just showed you?
At 10 minutes, we get Jeran. I would say Jeran is a rather important person in the flat earth community. If he has the, quote, balls he claims to have, he needs to accept the invitation and go there himself. Now, Jeran's been doing this long enough and has enough of a following that I think he's actually making a little bit of money off of this. If that's the case, then he really ought to pay his own way, but let's just say he accepts the free invitation. In that case, I think Jeran would be doing the right thing if he would pay for an additional flat earther to join him, because I think, given the things he's saying, he needs to have somebody else from his circle next to him when he sees that sun go back around behind his back. He also brought up an interesting idea when he was talking about where the sun would be shining at different times of day at Antarctica. That would be something that could be nicely be worked into this whole observation. I'm thinking that if he had somebody in his flat earth community based in North America, and if he had somebody else, perhaps in Australia, who were in contact with him at that critical time via some kind of internet link. I don't know if that's feasible down there, but just suppose that at noon in Australia, Jeran is down in Antarctica, and the two of them are doing some kind of live stream or Zoom meeting or something where the person in Australia can verify that indeed the sun is at noon in Australia, and at the same time, Jeran can point out where it is with him in Antarctica, and then repeat that a few hours later with somebody in North America, where he's got somebody lined up in North America to observe the location of the sun at noon. And at the same moment, he's down there in Antarctica pointing out where the sun is in his location. That would be a nice addition to the observation that they're doing. And he sounds like he's open to the idea because he kind of put it out there himself. But the last thing I want to say about Jeran is that I appreciate him exposing his misogyny. It doesn't take balls. In fact, balls have nothing to do with it when it comes to intellectual capacity, scientific rigor, honesty, and all those other qualities necessary to get through life in a positive way. Those members of our species who do not have balls do a perfectly fine job without them. So, Jeran, if you happen to come across this, you might just give that a little thought. Thanks. There I am. I don't often show my face. I just wanted to say to you all that I appreciate that you watch my videos, and I love to read your comments. I'm sorry that I've really kind of drifted away from the whole thing. I just find the actual flat earthers themselves to be such distasteful people to be around that I struggle to do this sometimes. To top it off, I've been having too much fun going places, and also involved in some work that I find very interesting, real work that I find very interesting. So between having fun and enjoying my work, I just haven't been able to carve out much time or energy for the flat earth nonsense. Anyhow, thanks again, and I hope you do enjoy this little video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And with that, I will say au revoir.